And here it is. This is the ace match between a Team Laserface and a Team Poison. Over here in this bottom left-hand corner, we do have the Orotos, who does not play Protoss, but instead he does play as the green Zerg player. On the other side, we do have from Team Poison, OZX, who is actually going to be playing as the yellow Zerg player. I don't believe OZX is actually a poison, so some guy's gonna have to invent that before OZX qualifies, as does Cyanide. As we did see earlier, he was quite a bit of poison. If you haven't watched that game, that was a very interesting strategy, I would have to say. Go ahead and check that video out. We do have that all listed for you in the discussion area, or the comments description area below the video, whatever you want to call it. We've got here OZX doing an extractor trick, and on the other side, Orotos, as the Zerg player, has not done much at all. We'll see what strategy both of these players are going for, but this is Tal'Darim Altar, the Blizzard version of the map, so it does have those rocks at the third base. We've got a gas coming up for Orotos right now, and a gas for OZX as well. If OZX is able to take this game, his team will win 3-2, coming up back from a 2-game early loss. But if Team Laserface wants to take this game, Orotos is going to have to come out with a win like he did in Game 1. Go ahead and check that game out if you haven't seen it. Oops, I gave it away. Sorry about that, but I never promised no spoilers in the later games. And there is the spawning pool coming up for both players right now. Tal'Darim Altar is a very, very large map, and both players have spawned cross-map, so we'll see if this leads into a very, very long ZVZ for this final game. Of course, this is the American Pro League, and I am Aegis. Check out my YouTube, or of course you're checking out my YouTube, youtube.com/AegisStarcraft2, or my Twitter, twitter.com/AegisStarcraft. There is no 2 after that one. And we also have our octetcorp.net/APL website for you to check out as well. And there's a Facebook link up there. We also have a Facebook contest going on. So if you want to get in on that contest, go ahead and check that Facebook page out. We want to know what your creation of an imbalanced unit is in just 3 words. We see OZX pulling off all the guys from gas except for one, and we also see Orotos going for a similar strategy as he did early on. He's going for that Baneling's Nest, going to be playing this out with a ton of Banelings, a ton of Zerglings. We'll see if this lasts any longer than 15 minutes. Got over here a couple of Zerglings out in the field for OZX already. He's seen his, I assume he knows from his teammate from earlier what kind of strategy Orotos is going to maybe throw at him. So he's going to be getting up his own Baneling's Nest, a defensive Baneling's Nest. He's also got his expansion coming up. There's Overlords now spreading out across the map. A good Overlord spread will allow a good Zerg player to get nice spotting of when those attacks are coming from the opposing Zerg player. We've got the Overlord spreading out for Orotos all across the field. Right now we've got Banelings morphing on the field as well. A couple of Zerglings over here for Orotos, and he is making 6 more Zerglings, so he definitely wants to end this game sometime soon. We've got a little hitting of your own hatchery. I don't know why, but there is that Baneling's Nest for OZX now finishing up. He's pulling all of his drones to the backside of his base. Because of the Banelings now running after the drones. The drones are running for dear life, and there they are, a couple of drones getting pulled off. Nice splitting by OZX, and only 2 drones go down. He's going to be able to pull his drones back to mining. He did lose a couple of drones. I believe that was, that was only 3. So not that many drones lost for OZX right now. He's still in a good position. He has his second hatch up. He will be able to get additional unit production out of that. A ton of Zerglings now chasing a small number of Zerglings. Very bad position for OZX to be in. They're all getting chased back into the base. A couple more Zerglings joining in here. We'll be able to do a nice round over here of Orotos' Zerglings. Going to be able to clean that up very easily. All he has to do is clean up those Banelings before they burst. We got one Baneling going down. A couple more Zerglings going to be engaging right now. Going to take that Baneling out. A couple more Zerglings joining in for this battle. That Baneling is definitely headed for the main. and the Zerglings from Orotas getting cleaned up over there. This is a really bad position for Orotas to be in. His early rush did get cleaned up, but OZX has not been making drones for this entire time, only now throwing down a couple of drones. 10 Zerglings on the way. He can actually go for an offensive. He doesn't know that Orotas is actually very far behind in terms of this number of units, I believe. Let's take a look. Actually, OZX is behind on everything. This is pretty bad, except for the fact that he does have his second hatch up first. The Zergling's going to be meeting in the center, going to be dancing around for a bit. The Zergling's now going to be joining back up with a few more Zerglings back behind OZX, quickly pulling the units. And here come the Banelings, quickly cleaning up that Zergling force. OZX is now ahead. Look at how volatile this is. We've got here the Zerglings now advancing forward across the map. More Zerglings going to be produced by the opposing Zerg Orotas. 10 more Zerglings in the production queue. And here comes OZX going to be running in here, putting some pressure on Orotas, going to be able to clean up that one drone and maybe take down this expansion. More Zerglings now advancing in here. Banelings all producing. OZX got one Baneling producing over here. Whoops. We've got more Zergling battles over here, and the Zerglings from Orotas are losing so far. There's Banelings going to be joining the battle real soon. And all he needs is one good splash. The Baneling's now waddling forward. One Baneling can change the tide of this entire battle. And here come the Banelings. If they just explode on the Zerglings, that'll do a ton of damage. Zerglings now running into the main of Orotas, going to be able to do a ton of damage over here. The Queen also getting surrounded. The Banelings not in a good position to be able to deal with this yet. Banelings going down on the Zerglings, going to be able to clean that up very easily. Both players still hanging way below the 30 food count at the 10-minute mark. Now Roaches coming out for Orotas is now making it past the 30 food mark. We've got more Zerglings coming out for OZX. He does want to try to end this game early, I suppose. He's got tons of Zerglings out on the field and will be able to run in there, see how much damage they can do against this Zergling Roach force. However, with the Roaches out in the field, those Banelings will become more and more ineffective unless those Roaches are all clumped up. And more Zerglings, drones getting produced by OZX. He needs to decide what he's going to be going for. He's got tons of drones on the wave right now. The Zerglings now advancing across the field. More Banelings getting morphed. And here come the Zerglings. The Roaches are nice and clumped up behind the Zerglings. Going to get a nice round over here with OZX. Going to be able to take out these units of Banelings. Still trying to morph. And the Roaches look like they hold their own. And the Baneling morphs and bursts apart, killing up all of those Zerglings. Both players back down to the 30 food mark over here. Orotas trying to produce a couple more drones to saturate his economy. Over here, OZX got a couple idle drones at his natural expansion. Needs to rally that right away. Maybe get another Queen to be able to sustain additional production. A Spine Crawler now coming up for OZX. Looks like Orotas is going for the Roach type build. He is getting a couple of Banelings mixed in there as well. He's going to be getting a couple of drones in here as well to be able to booster up his economy. OZX making a couple more drones right now, a couple more Banelings as well to help defend these two Banelings over here, and one Spine Crawler. Looks like this game has now stabilized and both players are headed towards the late game. Orotas has secured a pretty good advantage with 44 food, a very nicely saturated natural expansion, and a mildly saturated main as well. We also have Evo Chambers coming up. He has the Roach Warren advantage right now, as basically that's more tech in terms of this matchup. Roach Warren up for OZX, but no Roaches and no Lair for either player. So we're going to see when they decide to get that Lair. If either player gets that sooner, those burrowed Roaches could do a lot of damage, and as well as those Infestors are very critical to ZVZ. I'd like to see Orotas getting a little bit more map presence with his Zerglings. Maybe get some towers over here to see exactly what's going on. But for the moment, he's the one that's ahead. He's got additional Spine Crawlers coming up. He can actually get a Lair pretty quickly. He can also grab the double gas over here. He has a Spore Crawler ready just in case. And OZX just producing more and more drones for the moment. Not much in the production queue right now. He's getting finally some roaches of his own. Creep spread now spreading out for him, but against another Zerg, I don't know if that's the most critical thing he needs to focus on for the moment. Maybe he needs to take out these rocks and get a fast third to be able to catch up to Orotoss. Now grabbing the double gas over here, Orotoss will be able to secure additional resources. Tons of roaches out on the field. And over here, OZX now sending a couple of roaches over to the possible third base. There's one Zergling going to be spotting for that. The roach is not quite ready to clear that out. A couple of roaches going to be hanging back just in case of any sort of pushing at the front. We've got a lair on the way for both players right now. Orotoss is almost finished with his. And over on the other side, OZX is finishing his as well. The destructible rocks are going down. One of these roaches did take a little scratch from one of those Zerglings, but he will survive to tell the tale. We've also got the upgrades finishing for Orotoss. He's also got the infestors. That's going to be critical later on, or he's going to have the infestors. Where's the infestors den? Oh, there it is. Infestation pit coming up for Orotoss. And on this other side, more drones getting produced, going to be saturating this expansion pretty quickly. And he also has the option of grabbing this third very fast as well. Orotoss needs to start thinking about that third. He is now a little bit behind in terms of food. He's got a few roaches over here. And the roaches are now headed over to take those third base rocks out, maybe secure that third base very quickly. Keep in mind, these players are playing the final game for their teams. It might as well be best of one. They need to win this in order to take the match. Over here, OZX producing another queen finally for his hatch. His gas is a little bit high. We'll see what he decides to do with that. He's getting the Roach Glial Reconstitution upgrade. The rocks do go down for Orotoss right now. He needs to get a drone over here and throw up that expansion. Going to be getting a couple more roaches. Burrow finishing up, as well as the pathogen glands, and the Zerg missile attacks a +2 for Orotoss, so he's ahead in terms of upgrades. And over here, OZX at 0-0, so those roaches from Orotoss are going to be able to do tons of damage. That Overseer getting a nice look of everything that is going on over here. The Overlord spread, basically seeing the entire center of the map. Still no third expansion. There's the drone now headed out to make that third base. More roaches popping out. Looks like he's going for some sort of timing push as soon as the Glial Reconstitution finishes up alongside of the Zerg missile attacks level 2. So we've got the roaches over here going to be able to clean up one of these Zerglings. Pathogen glands on the way now for OZX. Pathogen glands already finished for Orotoss. Still no infestors. There they are. 3 infestors out on the field for Orotoss. Will have that fungal growth going to be able to do a lot of damage against those roaches. So both players are generally trying to hang back for the moment. OZX is way oversaturated over here. He needs to get some of those drones over to this base. We've got the Roach Force now moving out across the map. The Glial Reconstitution and the +2 attack are about to finish. Orotoss is definitely going to have an advantage. Hydralisks are going to be on the way for OZX if he survives this attack. He only has the Glial Reconstitution for his roaches. No tunneling claws or burrow. And we've got the infestors ready for action as well. OZX looks like he's going to be in a lot of trouble, especially with the +2 roaches going to be running in here and doing a lot of damage. Fungal growth going down. The infestors now advancing forward, and more fungals going down. Nice fungal from OZX, going to be able to catch all of the roaches. And looks like OZX is actually going to be able to clean this up. Orotoss losing all of his roaches despite his upgrade advantage. And the infestors also going down. However, he's getting his third base up over here. OZX also getting his third base up. So Team Poison is actually looking really good in this game. He might be able to take this for Team Poison. And Orotoss is going to have to think his build order through. Once again, more roaches coming out. And we've got units being rallied into the center. Orotoss with one infestor in the center as well. Looks like we got to push out with the roaches from OZX. They're going to be able to catch this infestor off guard, and the infestor goes down. More roaches going to get burrowed over here, going to be backing up. And however, there is an overseer, so never mind, wrong team. We've got the infestors over here for OZX. He can throw down a couple of infested Terrans if he so desires. OZX now advancing across the field. Orotoss looks like he's in a lot of trouble right now. OZX going to be running up here real soon. We've got the roaches in position to try to defend against this push, but OZX with a vast number of roaches, the infestors not joining the battle, needs to run in here real soon. Going to be throwing down some fungals, I hope. There goes the infested Terrans, and the roaches from the backside from Orotos going to be running in here, going to be cleaning up these infestors real quickly. And down goes all of forces from OZX. He was looking good for a moment, but it looks like all of these roaches are going down. And here comes the counter push across the map. All of the roaches going to be streaming forth. OZX, will he have a response ready for this? He's producing more roaches and more infestors. And he's got a couple of roaches over here, but he's got to be more ready for this. He's still not got the +2 upgrade. We've got the roaches now crawling across the map with their Glio Reconstitution. Also does have the burrow upgrade to be able to heal those roaches really quickly. One spore crawler coming up over here for OZX. He realizes those roaches have burrow. Definitely needs that. And here comes the roach battle. They're going to be scooting in here quickly, going down one roach. And these upgraded roaches from Orotos are going to be able to take down the roaches from OZX. This third base is also in very deep trouble, going to be going down real fast now, and the roaches from OZX trying to advance over there, but there's just too many roaches. One of those infestors also popping out and getting splattered. OZX desperately hanging on there for his team. A couple of eggs getting popped as well, and here comes Orotos going to be pushing in here. Oh no, an infestor, that was critical. He could have thrown down a fungal. There was a nice fungal on the roaches, but he can burrow those to help heal those up. And all of the roaches from OZX are going down, despite all of the roaches here from Orotos being hurt. GG calls OZX, and this game goes to Orotos and Team Laserface. Team Laserface, congrats on week 1 of the APL in Beta League. And this is Aegis signing off.